The streak is still alive. Is this 6 shows in a row?
5, I believe.
It's 5 shows in a row. Okay.
Or maybe it is 6. It's either 5 or 6. Because there's one show that we had a little technical error on the recording of. So I don't know if that one got posted.
I think it did, and I think a weird version got posted.
Yeah. This will be episode 5 of the newly revamped edition of The Word on iTunes.
It is on iTunes. We're on iTunes. We're on Spreaker. We're on YouTube. The hashtag is Sports News Stuff. The name of the show is The Word. We can build on this 5 shows in a row. I mean,
Hey, dare I say I got 5 on it?
Yeah, I'm playing the song now. For those that are not aware, a new segment of the show where we put 5 on something. Right now, there's only been one thing that we put 5 on. I put 5 on the massive New Orleans Boston trade. Hasn't happened yet.
We only play for high stakes on this show, James.
So yeah, we don't need a ton of bets. We don't need a ton of bets. Bookies are happy. Now I wonder what the odds are of us doing 5 shows in a row. I don't know if I would have taken those odds.
The Anthony Davis trade to Boston probably had better odds than us doing 5 shows.
This is real,
because we're busy and important people.
Yeah, I mean,
or we're terrible at scheduling, and we used to not do the shows much. But it's much more fun doing the show than not doing the show.
I would agree with that.
Profound statement early in the program today.
Along the lines of profound statements, what is the deal with time? Is time speeding up?
What? I don't even know where to go with that.
What? It speaks for itself.
That sounded like you were being sarcastic, but you were being serious, and it threw me for a loop for a second.
Oh, I was being very serious. I don't know what's going on with time. I think that whole thing about time speeding up as you get older, I'm like, I'll get home and I'm like, wow, it's 6 o'clock. I'm gonna eat something, but I got the whole evening. I could write a book. I could read a book, and then the next thing you know, it's the next morning and nothing's happened.
Funny how that goes.
It wasn't always like that, was it? I feel like I could always kind of really hit it in the evenings.
We're not as young as we used to be, James.
Oh, I don't know if I like this, dude. There's got to be like some kind of like reversal. There's got to be like a drug. And I don't mean like Adderall.
Youth is the only solution to that problem.
Ooh. I don't know if this isn't good.
Yeah.
Now I will.
By the way, I love how we've been doing the show for 10 years now, or more than that, like 12 years. And we're now complaining about time. We basically become Stadler and Waldorf on a podcast complaining about crap in our early 30s. This is pathetic.
I mean, this is crazy, dude. And now I will say the only time I don't feel like I'm not rushed for time is when we do podcast nights. Yeah, when we do podcast nights, I'm like, oh, okay, just gotta hang out for a little bit. I got like a lot done this evening before the podcast.
What could be more productive than doing this show?
I mean, maybe we should do more of them, and then I'll do more stuff. See, okay, there, we just solved it. See, this. We just solved it. This is beautiful, people. This is, you're watching the collaborative process.
Produce the show.
Wait, say that again?
So this is why you produce the show.
No, I don't produce the show. You produce the show.
Produce the show also. We co-produce. It's a co thing.
Am I a co? Oh, I got a producer credit? Oh, wow, this is.
Of course you do.
I'll put it on. That's going on LinkedIn stat. Okay. Well, we need to do an episode just on LinkedIn. Here's what I'm going to say. Well, first of all, before we get into the show, are you pro LinkedIn or where are you on LinkedIn? Ooh.
That's on the fence.
Ooh. Ooh, good,
Parts of it
good.
I like, parts of it I don't like.
Well, that's how I feel. I mean, I think it's great for if you need to be introduced to someone, like when you're making a career change or a job change. It's really good to see, like, who's this person? Who do we have in common? Can I get an email intro or whatever? Uh, the like news
See,
feed,
yeah. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
the news feed aspect to it, I really don't like. I always there's a lot of stuff on there that I'm like, ugh, I don't want to see that. It's just, but I guess that's any news feed. That's how Facebook is for me now too. So
Yeah, I don't know why you would ever go there and read the feed. Like
yeah,
that's not. I've never once wanted to do that.
yeah. Yeah, they kind of throw it at you, and I mean, I get bored a little bit, like at work sometimes. Like, I'll have like very intense 20-minute pockets with nothing to do, and then it always like reverts back and forth. So, I'll just get on there and just like see what's going on. It's less and less now. The site is less ROI, but from meeting new people and in other industries or maybe people that you don't have connections to, it is brilliant for that. Just to see who you have in common.
Yeah. Well, I don't use it as much for that, but I use it more for like if we have prospective candidates who have applied for a job, we'll use that just to
Ooh.
sort of get a feel for what they're about or whatever. But you mentioned like the getting an email out to somebody if you have a mutual contact. Like that, I'm much more prone to act in that situation than like recently. I got somebody hit me up off LinkedIn that just had gone to Carolina and like wanted me to like vouch for them for a job. And I didn't respond. I just didn't feel comfortable doing it, like just because we went to the same. Like I get that's how it used to always work, I guess. But I feel like I need to know who you are before I'm gonna. Oh yeah, this person just happened to go to the same school as me. I'm gonna hook them up. I
Wait.
don't know. I don't get
No,
that.
no, you're completely right. Why would anybody do that? I would never do that. I would never vouch for someone just because I don't even really accept a lot of friend invites just because a lot of people are like, oh, we're alumni. I'm like, I don't really. Like,
Yeah.
why would you? No, that is so weird.
Okay.
What?
Okay. Good. That's very reassuring to me. I felt like maybe I was being a little bit of a dick.
No, look. It's
I mean, not just like a little bit. Like not like. I mean, I should have at least probably emailed the guy back that, hey man, I don't feel comfortable doing that, but good luck. Yeah, I'll answer any questions you have, but I'm not, I'm not sticking my neck out for you. But
no. Why would you? That is the weirdest thing I have heard in career stuff in a minute. And I have heard and seen some very. I've been in a lot of different jobs in a lot of random different industries, and that is the weirdest thing. Oh my gosh, that's worse, literally worse than calling. Than if he had a job. There was a job he wanted at your office, and he saw that you were alumni or that you had people in common. That's worse than just him hitting you up and saying, "Hey, get me this job" or something pretentious like that. This is way worse than that because it's trying to manipulate a relationship that was never there. At least in the first instance, the guy's just being like, "I need a job, get it for me." I'm like, okay, sure, no, but what? That is so weird.
yeah, it was interesting.
But shout out to LinkedIn. I mean, he had a
Yeah.
chance. I don't. Not with. Mm-mm. Anyway, uh, action-packed program tonight because we got a lot of things we need to talk about here. The hashtag of sports news stuff. We will deliver that today, per usual. Uh,
If
let's
not, you'll be fully refunded for this podcast.
Yeah, there you go. That's a 100% money back guarantee. So really, you have nothing to lose by continuing to listen or subscribing, etc., etc. So let's start off with a little sports news. A little bit of a quiet time of year, unless you're a big baseball fan, which admittedly neither of us are, or at least I'm not. I enjoy the sport.
I do too, but I rarely watch baseball anymore. Like I still have a fantasy team and monitor stuff for that, and I'm generally aware of what's going on. But I can't really watch Braves games here, and I don't really care about the other teams.
Mm-hmm.
Baseball, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. Baseball is becoming increasingly regional in that respect. That like NBA, people that want to watch LeBron or watch Curry is because they're cheering for them, against them, whatever. There's that star power that draws in casual fans, in addition to fans of those teams or sincere fans of those players. But just the noteworthiness of those stars draws in eyeballs. In baseball, I mean, who would you really want to like go see? Or I need to watch so and so's playing tonight.
Right.
And that's not necessarily an indictment of baseball, but that's just not the way that sport is played.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just not, a really good player makes 4 plays, 5 plays in a game, maybe. Like, I mean, even NFL games, like, you have a bunch of guys that get like 5 to 10 touches that do stuff with the play. That's way more than, at bats or a couple defensive plays that a baseball player might play. So just from the standpoint of the volume of excitement that it draws in, baseball is just nowhere near those other sports. But I still enjoy watching, if the Braves game is on and they're not as terrible as they used to be. But, if it's not my team, I don't really care. So it's interesting to see how baseball is going to navigate that moving forward, if they're going to, either whether it's how they promote players or, I mean, the game sort of is what it is. I don't know what your other options are there.
Richard Bruce Kirkchin Abernathy breaking down the dilemma that we've discussed in the show before. Major League Baseball marketing itself. First of all, I didn't know. I guess I shouldn't be surprised that you don't get Braves games in Jacksonville. That's not a surprise, right?
No, I mean, it's Marlin. I mean, even though it's about as close to Atlanta as Miami, I guess because we're in state, it's Marlins or Rays. So if I was in Georgia, I'd get tons of Braves games.
Right.
So just like the 40-mile difference means I can't. I mean, unless I'm going to pay 100 whatever for the package, which is dumb. So.
Yeah. No.
Not dumb for me, because I'm not going to watch now.
Yeah. No. I mean, those packages. That's another whole thing we got to get to on the show. Man, the '90s were just. They just created so many amazing products for people to buy and services like these sports packages. Like, how brilliant was that?
Wait, did that start in the 90s? Is that what you said?
I would have to assume, right? You think it was earlier or later?
I thought it was later, but I honestly don't know for sure. I just assumed that it was a little more recent than that.
Let's take a look. Maybe I'm thinking pay-per-view more like it.
Well, that's been around a long time.
Yeah, but like, I want to say something inside of me says that like maybe that was the initial model. It was like you were getting a pay-per-view channel, but just paying for it for the whole month. I don't know. I might be making that up.
Oh, no, you're right. 1994 for Sunday Ticket.
Whoa.
Boom.
Did you have to have a dish for that or just on cable?
No, you had to have a dish, I'm sure.
Wow.
94. It was for direct TV. It was only satellite.
Let me we're already a little bit off the course tonight, but that's fine. We're gonna roll with this.
Shocking.
Well,
I do want to make sure we get to Summer League.
Okay. Well, then I'll get back to satellite dishes later. No.
Let's do it. Let's just keep it like 3 minutes and move on.
I just think that they were so overrated. Like, what do I get with a dish?
Well, the answer used to be Sunday Ticket, but now there are other ways to do that. So
I don't know. Yeah, we had one at my parents' place for a little bit, and I was just like, this is just cable. It's like nothing. I don't know.
That goes out if it rains.
Yeah.
When
Anyway.
the only thing there is to do is watch TV, and you can't because the cable doesn't work.
I just never got the appeal. But anyway.
I mean, I guess, but I mean, yeah.
Well, okay. So we're gonna bring the ship back on course. Summer League wrap up. Lonzo Ball has proved all the haters wrong. He is the future MVP of the league. He is the future Finals MVP. It's a wrap. Lakers, 2017-2018 champions.
Is that a quote from LeVar or what?
If I shouldn't have gone so bold so early because I should have put 5 on one of those things. Uh, but I'm gonna hold off on that for now. I'm gonna hold off on
But
that.
here's the thing, because I would want to put 5 on them making the playoffs, but the West is just so loaded.
Ooh, so you're not putting 5 on it?
I'm still thinking about it
Ooh.
because for all of the hype and BS and shenanigans of the balls, and I mean 98% LeVar, um, but Lonzo's going to be really good. I mean, to
Okay.
what level I don't really know, but the hype is real with him, with his feel for the game. And I was talking about this with someone yesterday. The just his vision and the way he feels and sees the game is just really impressive. And I don't know if the peripherals might not be great early on. Like, he might not shoot that well, and defense isn't very good. But they're just going to win, and he just impacts the game so much the way he plays. So it's going to be something fun to watch on some level, just as a basketball fan. So
Yeah.
they really I mean, there's some, other teams have some injuries and some things happen, and or even if just their other guys play really well, I could see them winning mid the high 40s games and maybe sneaking in as an 8 seed. I don't think that's out of the question, because of what they got: Brooke Lopez, Ingram in year 2, Clarkson. They signed Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. I don't know. Could be interesting. Or they could not really come together or shut some guys down and not really try that hard and win, 35 games and take a mid-lottery pick and try to get one more piece and make a run next year. That's probably more likely. I think they make the playoffs less because – or wait, actually, I'm trying to think what the protections are on that pick that they sent to Philly that Philly sent to Boston. I think they only get it if it's like top 5. So they have incentive to not be good because it means they get to keep their pick.
Right.
Whereas if it's bad and they hit in the lottery, then they would lose it. So I think they're like decent to not very good. So and I think they won't make a call on that until closer to the trade deadline, or they'll just they'll see how things play out and then either shut it down or maybe make a run at it if they really think that they could make the playoffs. So it'll be largely because of him, I think. Paul, as much as I don't want to say I hate to say it, but this is not just like blindly buying the hype. I just think he's good, and I've been skeptical, but I keep being proven wrong, and he keeps being pretty good. So maybe I'm wrong and need to re-examine where I stand on him. So it's just it could be special, the things that he does. I just don't know exactly to what level it'll translate, but we'll see. Should be fun.
Richard Bruce D'Antoni Abernathy breaking down
What's your take on Lonzo, by the way?
You know how I am, and I've proven on the show by my snarky old man sending soup back at a deli attitude. I am automatically so skeptical, and the main reason for that is I got incepted by his father and the way his father was being covered. So I got incepted by that, and I just automatically had a bias against him. And so now I have this weird show me what you got. Even though he's a rookie in the NBA, plenty of people don't even make it as close as he has, get as drafted as high as he does, and have a decent enough preseason, or I guess it's summer league, not preseason, that he's had to where I really shouldn't even be doubting anything. Like, everything that you just said makes complete sense. Like, I shouldn't really be not wanting him to do well either. It's like this weird negative thing. I mean, his dad didn't help, but then the way he was covered, and then I wasn't into his dad, and then I was, and so. But my take is here. I'm going to try something different. Okay, just like you said, you might re-examine. I'm going to try something
Yeah.
different. I'm going to go at this with maybe the way that I kind of felt about LeBron, where I was like really rooting for him, and that felt really good. Like you didn't really know, but you'd heard so much. You're like, all right, this guy's going to be good. And this isn't the same situation, obviously, not nearly as much hype, but a good amount of hype either way. So I'm going to go into it with a wait and see, but be supportive attitude because maybe I'm turning over a new leaf as a sports fan. Or I guess I'd have to become a sports fan first, as you can attest to. But
Yes.
I'm just turning over a new leaf in general.
Is that your lukewarm take of the week?
Ooh, that felt pretty lukewarm. That was pretty lukewarm. In fact, I think lukewarm might even be too hot for that take. I think it's a tepid.
Is it tepid?
I think it's
tepid take.
Tepid take. There you go.
Tepid reaction out of you, James.
Well, I'm just trying to stick within the format of the program. We've got a lot of eyes on us now.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you though. Like any negative thoughts I've had towards Lonzo have purely been because of his dad. It's not because of him. They're kind of the perfect good cop, bad cop in a way. Like he plays really fun basketball and shares the ball and throws great outlet passes and gets everybody involved and excited about the game. And then his dad makes it all about himself and is just obnoxious and a pain in the ass. But it's marketing genius in a way.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. A part of me wonders if it's necessary. I mean, from a business perspective, yes, but not.
Yeah, it's clearly unnecessary.
You don't think? I think they need it to. I think the shoes don't do as well without this hype.
Here's my question. He was already going to be an in the spotlight guy anyway.
Mm-hmm.
How much extra money are they possibly generating right now by waiting and trying to do their big baller brand thing? And with the expensive shoes that people are going to have to want to buy that they're having to make and all that, rather than just, hey, Nike, we'll take however X million, whatever it says on the contract. That sounds pretty good to us. And they have to do nothing to facilitate it or make it happen or keep the checks coming in. And they just invest it wisely or save or do whatever they need to do. Like, why go to all this extra effort? Like, I just don't see how it's going to make them more money. I don't understand really what the upside is.
I totally agree. I would go the Nike route, like you said.
Adidas or whatever.
Yeah. I just think that they believe that LeVar believes that he can do it better. And I don't think that he necessarily can, obviously.
See, I mean, it's the only I don't get it. I just don't. I mean, it's fine if that's what you want to. Or I mean, I guess it irritates me, but it's not like he's doing anything like bad or wrong. It's just kind of annoying.
Oh yeah.
So I don't want to paint him the wrong. Like of all the people out there doing their thing, he's pretty low on the list of like actual negative impact that it has, other than just making people yell about it. So, but the kid can play. That's what it comes down to. And I guess I understood him doing it more to get him to UCLA or even early last year. But once that kind of like took off, and I guess he was better during the season, and didn't really get in the way there. I don't know. Maybe he obviously just enjoys it and wants to do it.
Yeah.
Regardless of whether it's more financially viable for them or not.
Yeah, it's a way for him to be in the spotlight. I mean, in a way that I think he feels is helping, even if it's marginally so, or who knows? Maybe it's helping a lot. I just don't.
If he thinks it's helping, he doesn't think it's marginal. That much
true.
I'm pretty confident.
That's true. Yeah, he
doesn't think that he's just helping nudge this thing along a little bit. That's not where his head is.
Right. He thinks he's the top dog. So, yeah, dadvertising. We've covered it on the show before. Shout out to DJ Khaled.
Yeah. Did you see anybody else in Summer League that you were interested in or caught your eye at all? Or I mean, or just somebody you remember from the draft? I know you're not as avid a follower of the association as I am, but just curious if there's another guy that caught your attention.
Well, that's the funny thing about Summer League is the only reason I paid any attention this year was because of the ball situation. And that was really the only guy that I was paying attention to.
Phrasing, James.
What did I say? Did I say the ball situation?
The ball situation. Yeah.
Pause. Let me run that back. I was paying so much attention in the Summer League to observe Lonzo Ball, and that was really the only thing I paid attention to, and was reading up on it a little bit today. But I didn't have my eye on anybody else in terms of teams that I was interested in, although I probably should have, but didn't even get that far into it. But I do like this idea of like a short little preseason. See, I'd like that. They should do NBA preseason like that, like a little tournament. Like, let's really, let's not start this argument of whether preseason needs to be super competitive, like with the NFL.
They've cut it down.
They cut down the NBA preseason?
Yeah, I think it's cut down. Or I'm pretty sure that's happened. It's cut down to like 3 or 4 games now or something.
Ooh, I like it.
So, and I believe they're starting next season a little earlier in October.
Ooh.
As well. I want to say they're starting like 2 weeks earlier to spread the games out a little bit.
See, I love it. Why can't international soccer learn from this? I mean, this is just unbelievable. This is embarrassing.
Well, the international soccer regimen is much better than the current NBA one is.
In terms of like rest? And no, dude. Because here's the thing. And here's the thing, boom.
All right, go ahead, Teach.
Not only, see, the problem is there's more time between games, but it's still usually not enough. And on top of that, because the scheduling sometimes, well, most of the time, out of the hands of the teams, you also have coaches that are irresponsibly handling what to do with players, when they have days off or if they should train twice in a day, et cetera, et cetera. So I would say that you have more in international soccer, you have more injuries caused by coaches. And this is an area of study that I've done. Like I actually just did a course on this in Seattle a few weeks ago when we were both up there. And, there are more injuries caused by soccer coaches, I think, in professional soccer, and even youth soccer, actually, than I think in other sports. Like, I would say on a professional level, definitely. Like in the NBA, I mean, stuff happens, but it's very rare. Even though the schedule's grueling, they probably can't do as much. I've just never been like suspect of coaches calling it. It does happen, I'm sure. But I would say
it definitely happens. Like, a guy like Tibbs who plays, Derrick Rose 40 minutes a night.
Mm-hmm.
Like those things happen. So I guess maybe on the coaching side, the soccer is more of an extreme example, but schedule-wise, I mean, NBA games, teams have like 4 games in 5 nights.
Right.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, no, that's absurd. Like
that's crazy. Like soccer is once a week?
It's depending on how many competitions you're in, you could have 3 matches in like in a 7 or 8 day period. And the thing is, you really need a full 72 hours after a game to recover, but you might have to play 48 hours later or, 56 hours later or whatever. So it just gets dicey there. But I do see in basketball what you're saying is that, maybe you can play 2 games in 4 days or 2 games in 3 days, but 4 games in 5, I mean, you're sleepwalking eventually.
Yeah, I mean that's a grueling game.
Yeah.
I think people underestimate that sometimes.
Oh yeah, and that's what I love about the fact they're spreading the season out. I mean, this is what I mean. See, in the World Cup year, the Premier League would never do that. They would never say we're going to start 3 weeks after the World Cup later than we normally do. and push our season back. They would never do that, even though it would mean a better product for them because their players would be more rested after the World Cup, and they'd still get their money because they just push the season further back. They don't have to shorten the season because there's no other major tournament to bump into. And if there is that year, if there's Confederations Cup or something, then that's like a little bit less of a hurdle. You have less players going to that than in the World Cup. So
what's the season schedule like? Are there soccer games going right now? It feels like there's always something going on.
So right now you have this absurd tradition in European and even in big league soccer, which is they go all over the world and they do these little exhibition games essentially, and they were taken off in the last couple of years in the U.S. with what we call the ICC, the International Champions Cup. So it's like a tournament. They play all over the country, and they play for like 2-3 weeks, and they have a final, and they bring their players over here, and it's big for promoting their brand as teams because they get to come to these major American cities. There's a lot of fans. They sell merch. They get people interested in their brand. So the problem is it's just too early. I mean, we're not even in Premier League season starts like late August. I mean, we're not even in the end of July, just barely there, and they're already practicing. Some of these guys practice twice a day, and then you think about it, you're flying. If you're a big team, you might do like an Asia tour, then you might come over to the Americas. I mean, you're flying everywhere because you got to fly at all the big cities so that everybody can see you and make money. And so it drives me nuts. So really the season to me is an August to, the end of May, early June. But they start practicing so early because they start playing these games so early. So, they start probably early June, they're reporting in. It just drives me nuts. Because then everybody just gets so exhausted. Some of these guys played in the Confederations Cup over the summer. So, yeah, but the schedule's grueling. But again, yeah, there's a natural break of at least 2 days between games, but it's still, you need at least one more to really, really be successful consistently. There was a study done by my mentor and UEFA, and they basically just figured out that teams that have 2 days or less rest are like something like 60 or 70% less likely to win. And they just did it over like 10,000 matches, studied all their rest days. Yeah, it's just obvious though. I mean,
it makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So it's interesting to see the NBA make a small move. I mean, 2 weeks. I mean, you could, it's not a huge move, but to spread out the games. I mean, I'm in awe that international soccer won't do this. It just drives me nuts. Absolutely nuts.
Maybe someday, James. Maybe someday.
God, this guy, they're such clowns. Y'all have no idea. Anywho, so yeah.
One more sports thing I want to get to before we get into the news and stuff portions of the program.
Yeah.
As you know, and some people listening may know, I'm a huge Carolina Panthers fan.
Oh, yeah.
I guess you would qualify as a sympathizer due to your many years in the Tar Heel State.
Yeah. I'm not a diehard by any means, but I don't root against them, obviously.
Yeah. You prefer that fledgling franchise in the Northeast, the Patriots, I believe.
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah. Hopefully one day you'll have some success in the NFL. But my beloved Panthers have been probably on the best extended run in their history the last 4 or 5 years. As unimpressive though that may be. Mm-hmm. But Dave Gettleman, GM, was the one pulling the strings, and sort of, a week before training camp, out of complete left field, gets fired yesterday. A lot of speculation as to why, which is somewhat obvious. To what degree or what specifics there are, I don't know. But it seems that it was the way he sort of handled some relationships there with players, maybe some on the staff. Judging by this seems like a personal thing rather than a personnel thing, if that makes sense.
Wow.
And, I don't know if there was one specific player, but I know it seemed as though they were taking a hard line with Thomas Davis and Greg Olson. Obviously, things had not gone well with Steve Smith, D'Angelo Williams, Josh Norman last year. That was a disaster. So maybe it seems as though that ownership got tired of that and wanted a new person in that role that would handle some of those situations differently, at least. So it's a little frustrating, but I mean, at this point, I read a good article yesterday that, if you're going to fire your guy, do it now. Why wait through the season? The roster's pretty much built at this point. I mean, it's pretty much just a coaching staff choosing between what the 90 you've got and getting those down to 53, other than, a couple of injury replacements if somebody gets cut. But that's still, a month away, 6 weeks away. So if you're going to do it, it does make sense from a timing standpoint. But it was just odd. I don't know. What did it raise any flags for you as a Panthers, outsider?
I'm always a little bit wary of a move like this before the season. I agree with the logic. This is maybe the best time to do it. It just kind of seems like the difference is irreconcilable. I mean, I like the logic you're using that at this point, his work, the real nuts and bolts of it is sort of completed, or at least to a point where it can be handed off. Yeah, but I think that it's still a little bit of a strange thing. I would certainly not think it bodes well, but we don't know what things are going to look like on week 1.
Well, I mean, that team is what it is at this point. Like, you've bought the groceries, you're cooking the meal. We'll see how the meal goes, but you don't really need the guy at the produce stand anymore. You've got what you got.
Yeah.
And it clearly wasn't because of on-field performance. I mean, 3 straight division titles before the clunker last year due to injuries, Super Bowl hangover, et cetera, et cetera. So it's not because they weren't winning games. So, that's really the only thing it could be, that he didn't get along with somebody because of how something was handled or how he did things. I don't know. I don't want to run the guy into the ground. He did a good job. He seems like a good enough guy. I know Michael Oher came out and vouched for him today, so I'm not trying to make him sound like a bad guy. It seems like he was maybe a little rough around the edges.
Okay. Richard Bruce Esiason.
Hey, Boomer. Thank you.
Breaking down the news out of Charlotte. Panthers GM sacked. I'm a little surprised. Pretty surprised.
Yeah, it was. I didn't see it coming, but hopefully it doesn't set us back. Our window's not open that much longer with what we got. I guess as long as we have Cam, if Cam's good, then we got a chance. But that's a good. That's a good enough team to potentially win a Super Bowl if things break right, and they can be a little more explosive offensively and maintain the same caliber of defense they've shown most of the last 5 years. So nothing would make me happier than them winning a Super Bowl. I'll tell you that much. I was a nervous wreck when they played the Broncos and just had a bad feeling going into the game, and really kind of screwed the whole thing up karmically from the beginning, because I mean every big Panthers game I watch at my house by myself, do my neurotic stress out routine, and hope they win. And for some reason, I got talked into going to a Super Bowl party.
Whoa!
That a friend of mine was hosting at his house, a fellow Panthers fan, who I'd gone to. The only reason I went is because we saw them play the Jags week 1 in Jacksonville. Here, we went to the game, and the opportunity to book in the season with a fellow Panthers fan and watch the game. I had to go try it out, but was ready to leave if things got bad. And I literally when the strip sack on Cam for the fumble recovery touchdown. What made it 10-0? I think.
Yeah.
As soon as that happened, like I'm at my friend's house. There's like probably 10 people there. It was one of the ruder socially things I've done in my life, but I don't regret it at all. If that makes sense.
Yo, trust me, it does.
I just got up and walked out. Didn't say goodbye. I said I'm leaving. I just said I'm leaving. I just like got up and walked out, closed the door behind me, and drove off.
Wow. Damn.
I was, but to complicate it, a friend of mine who he and I are oil and water. Like we get into arguments all the time. Mostly good naturedly. Sometimes it gets a little more heated than it probably should. But just about anything and everything: politics, sports, general philosophy on life, whatever it is. Good, a good dude, and someone who I generally like and care about, but will often irritate me to no end, and I will not want to speak to him for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But he was there, and I blamed him for it. Just like the fact that I knew he was going to be there going, I was just like, this is a bad sign, and I ignored it. And part of me still, but look, this is how crazy superstitious I am with sports, and it makes no sense. I completely recognize that, but I can't help myself from believing it. Like stuff like that. Like part of me honestly believes if I had stayed home and watched the Panthers Broncos Super Bowl at my house, the Panthers would have won. That somehow karmically me going somewhere else meant what was going to happen, which is absolute absurdity and insanity, I know, but part of me just still honestly believes that is true.
Wow.
That is the power of sports right there.
It's funny though, because you really, I don't have anything else that I get superstitious about even a little bit. Like airplane, it's stuff, sometimes people have routines, a dentist. For me, it's just like, whatever. I mean, that doesn't mean that when things get bumpy, I don't get a little like, whoa, I don't like this. But with sports, when I was a kid, Manchester United games, it was like, I remember we had a fight with my really good friend on Instant Messenger when David Beckham got sold to Real Madrid, which at that point was Man U's biggest rivals. And I was livid because, Beckham was my favorite player. And he was our best player, obviously. And I just was so, and I very rarely get like upset about anything unless it relates to soccer. Whether it's like USA men's national team, bro, you had your situation with the Panthers when we lost to Ghana in extra time.
Oh, yeah.
In 2010 World Cup. I just was like, I was in Brooklyn, New York, and I just like sat on like a street corner after the game because I just watched it by myself. My friends are all off doing other stuff. So I just found a little sports bar. It wasn't even a sports bar, it was a little restaurant. And just watched it there the entire game. Like the guy was really nice. He like made me extra food and I didn't have to pay for it. I was like, this is really nice. But it's just maddening. Like I can't even breathe during those games. And I'm like the most critical USA fan ever, as we've talked about in this podcast. But when we get there, I'm like, I cannot. It's like I never got that nervous about Carolina games. When our friends would be like, I can't breathe, I can't sleep. I'm like, yeah, it's a big game. It's a big game against Duke, whatever. But like, it was just like more the environment was fun to me. USA soccer, it's like, don't look at me. Like I can't watch those games with people anymore. I cannot do it. Not World Cup games. No more.
Yeah, I can't do Panthers games for the most part. Like a regular season game, maybe. Mm-hmm. Unless it's like a real critical one, or as long as they're going to make the playoffs, I'm not going to get that upset.
Mm-hmm.
But Panthers playoff games and Duke basketball games still get me. Just I can't handle it.
I started getting worse with Carolina games as I got older. Like I handled the Villanova game pretty well. Like I wasn't, because I've never really been like you know, so diehard that it affects my mood. But like I was I was a little surprised. I was like, oh, that sucks. That's really bad. But like I don't know, there were some games as an adult that I've been like, oh boy, I'm not ready for this one. But yeah, USA men's soccer, it's like I just feel bad for people that have to be around me in that environment. Like because the highs are really high and the lows are really low. Oh gosh, it's so rough. Oh man. So we're doing the show on the internet, and
We are?
that is the premise. So
Okay.
you are live to millions
I
of
did
people.
I did not know that.
And I've had a beef with some stuff that's been going down lately. It started about a year ago when my definitely my favorite social network of all time, Vine, got like shut down. Vine was a part of Twitter, and it wasn't making money. It's really hard to monetize that, and it's expensive to upload and host all those videos. So at some point you have to cut it. So there's only one YouTube. It's really expensive to run YouTube, and I have to say I'm not okay with this. Like, can we just take away service? I mean, yes, they did. They obviously did, so it's gone. But like now, I'm hearing about SoundCloud about to go down, which I grew up as a DJ on SoundCloud, just like listening to mixes and getting ideas, and posting mixes and getting feedback, and posting original songs and getting feedback. Like, I never thought about like this kind of web 2.0, 3.0 downside, which is like this stuff can just go away at any point. I feel like there's no way to protect yourself against that. Like Vine, just gone. No way to back up your
Back it up.
videos. But how do you back up your Vine account if there's not going to be a Vine?
I'm sure there's a way.
Like that was the thing about that platform that was interesting, is that unless you downloaded an app to like, there were apps to download like individual
Yeah.
Vines, so you could
I
do
mean, I'm
that.
sure because we ripped stuff off for use on TV before. Like that's easy.
Right, but like,
I guess most people aren't going to do that though.
right?
I see your point.
And
Although,
like,
could you take a video and then upload it to Vine separately, or did you have to record in Vine?
you could do either or. You could record it
I thought you
live.
could upload. Yeah, so if you just shot it and then uploaded it to Vine, then you had it.
Right, but like it wouldn't have had all the like edits that you did to it in Vine. Like Vine was like also like a video editing app.
Yeah. No, I know.
I'm just like, where?
But I see your point that we just take for granted that these things are going to always be there.
I mean, imagine if Facebook went down for like an hour.
Oh my God, people would lose their freaking minds.
And like,
I'm pretty much off Facebook.
Right, me too.
Like extremely rare that I go on.
Yeah, there's nothing there for us anymore. It's
no, it's on once parents got on, or really once they opened up to high school, it was like, all right, that's it.
Yeah,
it's over. But
people like, just a lot of people live on that shit, and it would be like, all right, if Facebook went down for that long, yeah, they'd have business consequences, but like there would be like inquiries, like what's going on? Like people would want answers. And like Vine just goes away and that's that. And then like SoundCloud was allegedly in trouble, and then they like came out and said that they're not in trouble. So
well, didn't they announce that like Vine was going down, but then it was like a year and a half later that it actually went offline or something?
No.
Wasn't there a pretty big lag period?
No, dude, it was actually kind of quick, man. It was
I thought it was a longer period than that, sorry.
I don't think it was more than 6 months. And I think even 6 months is generous. I really do. And we'll have to Wikipedia it.
If only there was a way that I could look that up as we were talking about it.
But I really think I really don't think there was ever a concrete word. I don't think it was more than 6 months. And I really think that's generous. Because I remember like everybody was scrambling. Because the reason why I'm upset about it is that all the people that I like to watch there, I don't know where to find them now, or the format's different if they're on YouTube or Instagram. And they were all scrambling to like point people to their new social media platforms because they had to offload and get onto those other ones because Vine was shutting down. And I just like never really like followed the new ones because I only really had Vine on my phone. I didn't have Instagram on my phone, didn't have Facebook. I had YouTube, but I didn't use it nearly as much as I do now. So,
Well, well, James, I have good news and bad news.
okay.
The bad news is you were wrong, but the good news is also that you were wrong.
How so?
On January 20th, 2017, Twitter launched an internet archive of all Vine videos,
What?
allowing people to continue watching previously filmed Vines.
Shut your... Dude, why do you always do this to me? Okay, first of all, this guy pulling out the knowledge off the interwebs, Google gangster, Richard Bruce Brezhnov Abernathy.
Brezhnov? Is that even a real one?
That he's a person, but I think I was trying to get the last name of the guy that invented Google. There's two guys. One of them has like a very Russian name. It's like Sergei Reshnikov or something like that. But then I just went Brezhnov because that's from Seinfeld. First of all, this guy's pulling the internet data out. And second of all, why do you always do this to me on podcast nights where I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get a good night's sleep, wake up, maybe I'll hit the co-working space, send some emails, and then you drop something on me that's going to take my whole night away.
I'm trying to offset the productivity you've had tonight of filming the podcast.
Oh my gosh.
Filming, recording.
Wait, so it's an online archive, but like I can only access it on the web, right? I can't do it on my phone.
That I don't know for sure.
Because the Vine on the web actually kind of sucked. They didn't make it for that. They made it for phones. It was made to be recorded on phones, to be edited on phones, and uploaded and watched on phones. So like an internet archive would be cool, but I want it to have the same UI as Vine. Like why don't they just bring it back then? So just like bring it back and make it so nobody can record and just leave it there. Oh boy. Anyway, we'll cover that in the green room after the show. I don't think that's something we need to hash out.
No, we can save that for the after show.
Hosted by whatever his name is on whatever that network. Do you at midnight? What's your? Oh wait, we watched that.
I'm pro. Pro. Yeah.
Wait, I think we talked about this at your place. I don't like that guy.
I don't know why you don't like him.
He's very good at what he does. He has the perfect energy. He really understands his audience, which in a way that I think is part of why that show is so fun, is because it's just a very self-aware, but not in an obnoxious way. They're just like, yeah, we're nerds and we like puns. And, it's just great.
Chris Hardwick, by the way, is his name.
Yeah. You know what it was? This is really embarrassing. There's an episode of Marin. It's actually, I think, the first episode of Marin, where Chris Hardwick plays himself, and I guess they kind of, playing off of what he looks like naturally, they kind of made him like out to be like a total arrogant douche, even though like I think in real life I don't think he is like that, but they just they played him up like that, and I don't know, maybe that just stuck with me because I just watch his show. I've never liked the way it's marketed. Like I understand it's good, and you and I watched it with our girl, Squirrel Girl. What's her name again?
Milana Von Trub.
I'm not doing a very good job of fulfilling our bucket list of getting her on the show by being like, what's Squirrel Girl's name again?
You're not helping.
I'm screwing this up, man.
I think our odds went down from 0% to 0% because of that. So
we can do it. We can build on this.
Thanks, Herm.
But I mean, I've just always found him obnoxious, but he's good at what he does. It's not that I don't think he's good. He obviously.
Do you like the show but not like him?
I like the show. I don't watch it often. I don't like him, but I think he's good at it. And that doesn't really take away from the show for me. Truthfully, it's funny, and
That's weird. That's weird to me.
Well, I mean, I think it's just not that
Like,
I'm
you
a
really like the
television.
show. You think he's really good in the show, but you don't
Yes,
like.
but I recognize what he has to do, and maybe, and again, I'm not like a lifelong television professional, but I understand that there's a certain thing, like charisma. There's an intangible aspect to being in front of the camera, and and particularly in a context that makes sense. So, like, there are certain people that are funny like him, but that wouldn't work doing that show. Like, for example, the guy that did The Soup, who's, Joel, what's his name?
Oh, Joel McHale.
Yeah, I mean, he's really good at being on camera too. And I actually took me a while to warm up to him as well, on The Soup at least. And I don't think he'd be as good at midnight. I don't think he would
No,
fit.
and vice versa.
Right.
I think that's right for both of them.
That's what I'm saying. So I mean, I can recognize that. I just don't necessarily. I don't have to like it though. But
I guess I understand that.
But shout out to him. Shout out to him.
One more shout out, if I can go back. I didn't want to interrupt your story at the time, but I forget exactly what we were talking about. But you referenced having a fight with one of your friends on Instant Messenger.
Yes.
Shout out to AOL Instant Messenger.
I'm telling you,
that was the jam back in the day.
I'm a little bit confused. All right, and I think we're you know what? No, we're gonna do it live. Okay. I'm a little bit confused as to why it doesn't exist anymore. And it exists, and I signed into it actually like a few weeks ago. But I'm saying, like, it's still better than anything else.
It doesn't exist because, well, in a way it does still exist, but it's Google is GChat, it's Skype, it's WhatsApp.
But those all stink.
Look, I know, but once the technology was readily available and accessible enough for multiple versions of the same thing to be out there for that, it just splintered and was gone. Like, it wasn't that everybody used that one because that was like the best one. I mean, it was, but it was really the only one. Certainly the only one that anyone was using.
Right.
Like that's what it's all about. Is how do you, like, what can people use?
God, it was. I still, bro. Can you explain to me this? Okay, Mr. Internet. Explain to me this. Why on earth I'm going to use Google Chat as an example, right? And I use Google Chat, not as much as I used to. Why on earth can I not set an away message that somebody gets an auto response to when they chat me? What is going on in this planet?
We've regressed as a society.
I can't have an away message anymore. I could order right now. I could order something on Amazon Prime now, and it could be here in like an hour. Maybe not. It's 10 o'clock on the East Coast, but during regular hours up until about 8 or 9, I can get anything I want, and I can't get an auto response away message on GChat. It's just do not even think about putting a flying car in my face, Elon Musk, until I have away messages. I
believe it was the great what's his name? Patrick Henry. Give me away messages or give me death, I believe was the very famous quote.
He's standing on the rock. They're about to hang him. He's like, give me away messages. Oh my gosh. I don't understand it. I mean, it's just absurd. And the status messages on GChat don't even work. Like, you try to put a status in, and then it like puts you away.
Yeah, it's been a downhill thing. I love the like your profile or like your that you like put your random info in, which is basically like
Yes.
most of it's like rotating song lyrics or random stuff. This guy I knew in college had like the whole thing was just blank. It just like went down forever. Like if you scrolled, it would just keep going and going and going with like nothing. And then at the very bottom, like the last possible row, it said, "I keep a low profile."
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I thought it was like one of the most clever things I'd ever seen at that point, and I loved it.
Bro, your
So
profile?
shout out to Nick Stefanski, my boy Nick.
That is a brilliant profile. Yo, your profile, dude. You need to get your profile on fleek. You got to put up. Yo,
Yeah.
I'd be bro. I'd be putting up intramural records up there, bro, for multiple teams. You think this is a game?
Oh, I miss intramurals.
I was just talking to a friend of mine at a wedding this weekend. I used to play intramurals, probably against him in soccer. We were trying to figure out if we played against or with each other. And I was talking about co-ed soccer. You'll appreciate this because it involves our good friend, the Godfather. Co-ed soccer.
I have a soccer question for you after this, but continue.
Okay, so co-ed soccer. The key to co-ed soccer, you obviously had to have a good team. Okay, a good team with good players. But the teams that went far always had the best girls because you had to have a certain number on the field at a certain time, and if you had a girl that was comparable or to the boys' skill level, and then a lot of times beyond it, just a better soccer player, then you were unstoppable because you're combining forces, men against women. It's brilliant. And I remember one time I had made the recruiting coup of the century because I recruited a very high-level player I knew in middle school. We went to different high schools, but she kept it up. And I recruited her, and I said, look, I got a co-ed team. What's good? And I believe this was sophomore year. And she met the Godfather, Joe Nicofero, who's a lady killer, or he was a lady killer.
Not literally. I just wanted to state that for the record. We're not implying or accusing Mr. Hafera of any murderous acts against women.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So he had a co-ed team as well, and for some reason him and I didn't link up on co-ed teams. But, we got into a little bit of a recruiting battle, and we did. Because I was like, listen, Courtney is mine. She is, well, let me rephrase that. She is on my co-ed team. And
much better phrased.
Thank you. And he just wouldn't let up, and they had a couple recruiting visits, and I lost the commitment, and they went on to a very successful intramural career with her on the team, and my teams did well. I was proud of my teams. We had good teams, but that I remember I blew up at him in the car one time. It was like I was like for real mad. I think it was Rob Cancilia's car, but I blew up at this guy. Like, you're gonna steal my player? Did you play on your team? Oh my god! I mean, over intramural players, dude. I mean, intramurals, dude.
That's fantastic.
Okay, so
I know that story. That's a great one.
I don't know if I don't know if you'd heard that one before because it involves
I didn't know you. I didn't know you and the Godfather have such a rivalry.
Oh gosh, we made up for it because we did combine forces to play indoor co-ed together. We had a bomb-ass team. I don't even know how we lost. We had that player in question that he stole from me. She was on the team. Another female stud. my good friend Robin, Joe, a couple of good guys. I mean, Joe was our goalie. Indoor goalie. He's a basketball player, a lacrosse player.
Yeah.
He's good in there. He's fine. So, but we made up. We made up, but it haunts me to this day. But anyway, what was your soccer question?
My soccer question didn't you have an incident where a girl wouldn't dance with you at Avalon because you had made a call against her team as like a intramural ref or something? I can't remember if that actually happened or if that was just like an urban legend, a mythical story.
Oh my
I appear to have broken you once again, as is an almost weekly tradition on this show.
What are you doing to me? Oh my god!
And I've ground the show to a halt. I didn't even mean to do it. Most of the time, I do stuff like that just to try to get a reaction out of you because I know you'll lose your shit. But that was an honest question. I couldn't remember exactly what the story was. I didn't think it was going to totally derail the rest of the show.
I thought you were gonna say like along the lines of like soccer. That you're like like men's. What would if the men's team went against women's team? That kind of podcast question you brought up this. Because what happened was I know why you brought that up because that was one of my like classic away messages.
Oh, what do you know? Synergy on the show.
But I'm trying to remember what the order was because the way you recalled it, you said that
whether she wouldn't dance with you because of the call, or she made a call against you because you wouldn't dance with her.
Yeah, no, that was it.
You forgot which way the fake story went.
No, it was real. No, it was real. I only put it in there because it was real. Because you have to understand, dude. Oh my god.
I do. Intramurals meant a lot to people, but
you have to understand. Yeah. Okay, I was a sports science major, and that was an interesting major because you had a lot of people, and I think I would put myself in this category looking back at it, but I didn't view myself in this category at the time. We get older, we look back at some stuff, we're like, oh yeah, okay, I see what's going on there. So it was filled with a lot of people that didn't want to let go of sports. And I didn't realize that my life had been defined by sports. I was just not that self-aware. So like I was looking at these, like some of them, ex-state champions or they could have played scholarship somewhere D1, but they decided to come to Carolina, blah, blah, blah. Or there were a lot of athletes that were already on varsity teams, at Carolina that were sports science majors and walk-on basketball players. CJ Hooker, I'll never forget him. And I remember thinking, like, these people, I'm so different than these people. And really, I really wasn't. I just thought I was. And I had such a weird relationship with them. And then it got weirder because a lot of them were intramural staffers. And I just had a lot of run-ins with like intramural referees. Well, like a few in particular. Like this one guy, he just had it out for me the whole time we were in school together. So the Avalon story, if I recall correctly, is that because I was never a referee, so it had to be that it was a call that somebody made against me. If I recall correctly, I think I just maybe, didn't dance with someone or didn't want to, which is really surprising knowing me, because that's not really, that's weird. But then, like, following up, there was like a controversial call in a assuming a soccer game that woman that was I didn't dance with made, I believe. And I put that up as like my away message because that was just kind of like my therapy, I guess, at the time. And it just stayed up there forever. I would, rotate through because I used to be able to save away messages. But holy cow, you just reminded me of how freaking complicated my relationship was with intramural sports staff. It was so weird. Like, just so weird, man. So weird. But oh my God, that is a classic away message. Oh, the other one, of course, that we would be remiss. Should I even go there, or I think we can handle it.
I don't remember what it was. So I don't know what to say. I'm a little scared right now. I've got my finger over the mute button.
It's probably not going to come as that much of a surprise, but the classic is, I'm a good quarterback.
I deserve 2 fajitas. Oh man, that's not an actual quote from someone, right?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so. I was just making sure. He was a little cocky, so I could have heard him say that. But yeah, someone we know who shall remain nameless was getting 2 fajitas on the line, and James accurately pointed out that it was because he was a good flag football quarterback and he deserved those 2 fajitas.
But it wasn't, okay, because it was at Lenore, which was the dining hall at Carolina. It wasn't that he got 2 fajitas. I mean, yes, it was that he got 2 fajitas. But back then, when you got that Mexican place, which I didn't eat there a lot until like I got to like junior, senior year, because I didn't realize how amazing like that idea was, like just like quick, like almost Chipotle style. And you had to get 2 boxes. So it wasn't like you could like pile it into one of those boxes. And those boxes are already kind of big. He had like 2 piled on top of each other. And so, he just smoked us in a flag football co-ed. Actually, it might have been men's game. My team was, no, don't even get me started. And I was like, come on, this is too perfect, man. You just smoked us in 2 games, and you got 2 fajitas here, and like you said, your friend had a very confident air about him, and I just couldn't help but notice that he felt like he deserved 2 fajitas.
He probably did. He was good. That's how that it was probably worth it.
Oh my God, I can't believe you brought up the Avalon away message.
I have one more question for you before we close out the program.
Okay.
You hinted before the show, and even I don't know what your answer to this is. So I'm truly flying blind here. I heard there was a movie you were actually excited about.
And and it's even crazier because, if you listen to this show, you know that I don't like anything. But especially remakes. And this is a remake or a sequel or a reboot, I should say, that I'm really excited about. And it's the Blade Runner joint, dude.
That does look good.
The new trailer came out yesterday. I know there's already been a teaser, but like another trailer came out yesterday that I saw, and I didn't realize Jared Leto was in it. Jared Leto is crazy.
Isn't it Leto?
Is it Leto?
Sorry, I believe it's Leto.
Wow. Well, Jared Leto is...
Sorry, not trying to
No.
get that boy on you.
No, I really am embarrassed that I've been pronouncing it Jared Leto. But shout out to him. Oh my goodness. The trailer looks so good. And I don't know why. I don't like reboots. I wasn't excited about it when it was announced. Then I saw some of the promotional material. I kind of was like, all right, I'm interested a little bit. And then I saw the trailer, and I was like, okay, this looks like it's going to be interesting. And then the trailer yesterday, a little bit more full length, it's pretty good. So we have to wait until the fall, but I don't know. This may be the only movie that I'm genuinely looking forward to that I know is upcoming.
Besides Baby Driver, obviously.
Right. Obviously, I've missed out on my homework. I got to see Baby Driver. I get my wisdom teeth taken out actually tomorrow, so I'll be out of work for a few days, so I can I can sneak away. Not even sneak away. I can just go.
Go to a matinee.
I could do a matinee. There's a great little theater here in Atlanta, pretty close to me. They got the beer setup going on.
You should hit that up.
I wonder, can you drink beer after you've had your wisdom teeth taken out?
I don't know. I mean, I don't see why not. I'm not sure I'd drive if I was taking the pain meds and having a couple beers, though. That might not be good.
Okay. I might go for it. But that is a movie that I'm certainly excited for.
Take that Uber.
Yeah, I'm probably going to have to take an Uber straight from the dental office. Like, it's like a train ride away because it's near my office. So, but I think probably not a good idea to navigate the train if I'm hopped up on the... Although they say that... I've heard that for the older people, we don't need as much PKs, if any, at all. Or do I have it reversed?
I don't know. I had mine out in college, so I'm not sure what the deal is now.
Did they hit you with those PKs?
Oh, a few. It wasn't anything like strong or anything.
Yeah, that's probably, if I do get anything, that's probably the best bet. We don't want to have a VH1 behind the podcast this early in us getting online.
We definitely don't. Yeah, shout out to Behind the Music. It's quite a phrasing that gets used in my office a decent amount about they call it behind the music writing.
Yes.
And it's where the VO and then like the whatever is written and then the next soundbite is like exactly the same thing. It's like, and that's when things started to go terribly wrong. I mean, that's really when things just started going wrong for us. Like,
I love that.
Shout out to Behind the Music for that.
I love that. They made it work. VH1, no music on that. I guess on MTV, they don't really have music on that either. It's all reality shows.
Yeah.
While we're doing shout-outs, though, I'm going to give one final shout-out. I traveled a lot the last 2 weeks, got home from this weekend's travels, and Sunday and Monday I just chilled. And I got obsessed with this ridiculous YouTube network called Jash, Jash. They have got some ridiculous stuff up there. Shout out to Pound House. Shout out to DJ Doug Pound. They've got like these short films up there. If you got some binge time, you got one of those fancy TVs you can watch YouTube on, right?
Yeah, but it's kind of pointless because I have an Apple TV or a PS3 to watch those things. So.
Oh, you can look up YouTube on that stuff?
Yeah.
Man, pretty soon you're going to be able to get email on your phones, man. This stuff's getting advanced.
It's crazy.
But yeah, Jash, Jash, formerly B-U-H, but it's Jash now. I don't know what these things mean. But there's a segment on there called You and Your Fucking Coffee. There's 6 episodes of it, or 7 episodes of it, sorry. It's unbelievable. It's like, are you a coffee drinker, by the way?
I'm not.
Woo!
Never really. I mean, I'll drink like a bullshit cappuccino thing, but that's not coffee. That's a coffee flavored milkshake.
Yeah.
So I don't count that at all. No, I'm not. I'm really not a hot beverage guy. Like hot chocolate, even not my thing. Yeah, just never really developed a taste for it.
Wow. So then it might not be as funny to you because like it's just a story about this guy like inconveniencing people just because he has to have his coffee, which I am like so annoyed by, but I also am that person's like, oh, I just gotta have my coffee, even if it's decaf. It's just like the routine.
Yeah.
But
caffeine's a hell of a drug.
Yeah, you're telling me. Yeah, peep that. Shout out to them. Shout out to DJ Doug Pound. Shout out to AOL Instant Messenger. Oh my God. Where are my away messages?
If we ever do change the name of this podcast, the away message would be a great name and theme for the podcast.
See, this guy, I mean...
Because you could title the episodes, the titles of the episodes would be away messages.
I mean...
And they will be like the theme of the show.
This guy is not playing around, people.
Just giving out free ideas.
This guy, look. You people think it's a game, dude. This guy's out here. He's just coming up with show ideas for fun. This guy's for real. I can't think of a good producer name to throw in there with the Richard Bruce, but this guy's not messing around. Shout out to Rich Abernathy. I'm using a shout out on Rich Abernathy today.
I'm honored.
Oh man. Well, are there any more shout outs here? I'm maxed out on shout outs.
No, I don't think so. We talked about the Defiant Ones last week, right?
We did, yeah. I still haven't seen it.
Okay. Yeah. Well, the no shout out to you. I'm not going to reciprocate.
Ooh.
You didn't do any of your homework.
I know.
None of your required.
But what's going to happen is this. I'm off work for the next couple of days because of the teeth, so I can catch up on some stuff.
Then it's going to be, my mouth hurt really bad.
Well, what else am I going to do? I'm just going to be laying in bed anyway, so
go to Baby Driver and watch the Defiant Ones. You could do both of those easily in the same day.
Whoa, this dude is...
That would be a rich cultural experience for one day. That would be fantastic.
Damn, dude, you just dropped a midterm paper on me, dude.
That's a final.
Whoa!
Yeah. That's how highly I respect both of those works.
This is
so take that for what you will.
This is a lot. Well, I know what I got to get done. Shit.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, well, I got some homework for you. I'm gonna give you your homework off the air.
Game of Thrones?
I'm gonna give you your homework off the air.
Okay.
I don't know why I'm clapping with that. I'm doing a lot of clap. I do a lot of clapping when I'm on the podcast with you.
It's part of your thing.
Woo. Okay, I've got my homework. Rich is gonna have his homework. We'll see if we get a report on that. The next show, where we go for 6 shows in a row. Has that ever been done before by us? In the modern...
Not in the modern era. In the dead ball era, yes.
Tim Kirchin again. Oh. Okay. Well, the hashtag is sports news stuff. The name of the program is the word for Richard Bruce O'Leary Abernathy.
He's James Israel Arena Mundial.
Oh my gosh. Woo. Wow. Thank you for tuning into the word.
We'll see you next week.